twins of Reddit, what is your most awkward / awesome wrong twin story? Please subscribe, like and leave a comment. Much love to you all. Had a buddy from the scatter park who had a twin. This guy and I would always shit talk each other. One day I see him and walk up to him. What's up, dipshit? The fuck you dressed like that for? It's not gonna make your busted ass skate any better. Excuse me? You go deaf to dumbus? He gets in my face and starts asking what my problem is. I'm laughing the entire time thinking we are playing a game until he shoves me hard. I fall backwards and look at him and yell, Sean. The fuck, man? His face completely changed. I'm Shane, dude. Sean's twin. I didn't know he had a twin. Next time I see Sean he cracks up. Heard my brother almost beat your ass. I honestly hate when parents decide to name their twins nearly the same name. Why would you go out of your way to make things even more confusing? There was a set of triplets in a class in my middle school with the same first, middle, and last names. God, was that confusing. Identical twin here attending the same college as my twin brother. I was walking with my girlfriend at the time during my freshman year, and another girl approached me and said, "Also, this is why you didn't want to call me back." I didn't know this girl, but it also didn't register at the time that she was referring to my twin, who I assume ghosted her. I told this girl she must be mistaken, and she says, "No, I know it's you, we met in the dorms." And then it clicked for me. So I explained that she was confusing me for my twin brother. But the most awkward part is that she didn't believe a word I was saying and thought I was just using the twin story to try to get rid of her. I had her call me at the time and show her that my phone wasn't ringing and that she was calling my twin. My girlfriend was upset at first, but then basically realized the humor in the situation as it was unfolding. The whole "I have a twin, call his phone" sneaky. Jokes on her, that number's been blocked already, so it won't even ring. My twin had recently joined the Navy and was at boot camp. I, on the other hand, was walking around the grocery store when a man came running up to me in a panic. He began to shout, "What in the hell are you doing here? You're going to go to federal prison." A bit shocked, I assumed it was just some crazy person and started to back away, but he followed. So I said, "Sir, I don't know what you're talking about." He then proceeded to say my twin's name, and then I started laughing. He, still very panicked and now angry, asked why I thought this was funny. I explained I'm such and such's twin. He didn't believe me until I finally pulled my ID out to prove I was who I said I was. He then apologized and explained he was her enlisting officer and was very concerned when he saw me. "Why were you off base without leave, private scum?" "Sir, the mess hall doesn't serve Fruit Loops, so I went to buy some, sir." I'm a teacher, and when I was student teaching there were twin girls. They were super cute and very hard to tell apart. I finally got to the point where I could tell which was which. One morning I confidently called them by their names, but they corrected me. I made note of what they were wearing and kept them straight the rest of the morning. While we were going over our lessons and I called on twin A, she began to cry and said, "I'm not twin A, I'm twin B." They decided that they were going to switch on us that morning, but then got upset when we called them the wrong name. We laughed so hard about it after the fact, and their mom was appalled that they were already switching places in kindergarten. When I was teaching, we had a pair of twins who were the most identical I'd ever seen. One had a tiny freckle under her eye and the other didn't, and that was the only way anyone could tell them apart. So their mom got them hair bows with their names monogrammed on, and then frequently put the wrong bow on the girls' heads. I transferred to my twin brother's university. By that point, he had already become friendly with a lot of people on campus, students and faculty alike, and was a face of the university. Meanwhile, I was a new student and didn't even know my way around. It's not really one event, but the culmination of it being a repeated thing when someone would wave at me or run up to talk to me, and I'd have to explain that I'm not my brother, and that no, I'm not fucking with you. Yes, I know we look exactly the same. And yes, I'm pretty certain I'm not my brother. It got bad enough that I had a knee-jerk reaction to just yell out "I'm not my brother's" name whenever I noticed anyone trying to get my attention. Sometimes a conversation would go on for minutes of that person just non-stop talking before I finally got a voice in to tell them that I don't know who they are. My brother ended up telling me that he heard I bumped into these people and that they said I was really awkward, as if there's a non-awkward way out of that situation. Dude, you missed a golden opportunity to fuck with your brother. You should have played along and then slip in subtle weird clues about being a serial killer or something. This reminds me of a story by Rami Malek. He's a twin, and his twin needed to read a dramatic monologue for one of his classes and asked if Rami could do it instead. So Rami dressed up in his twin's clothes, came in, killed it, twin got an A. There's 2 Rami Maleks. Yep, the other one is called Sammy. I thought you were fucking around, but I googled it and yeah, Rami Malek's brother is named Sami Malek. I've got a twin who works at Starbucks. I always get an employee discount because your sister works there and fixes you up. I'm guessing because the people working thinks that op is working for Starbucks when in reality it's the twin. My sister worked at Walmart for a few weeks before I started working there too. We had a few fun moments. The first one was my first day. She had an earlier shift, and just as I was going to go in the back door she was coming out. So no one knew she was a twin, and here was an identical person trying to go through the door at the same time. Without think I yelled, "We are never supposed to be in the same place at the same time." Then I ran away. Everyone was freaked out. My other favorite thing to do was to mess with people she had just helped in electronics. They would ask, "Hey, didn't I just see you?" And I'd answer, "No, I've been here all day." It was fun. That's like a legit horror trope lol. Had a coworker who had kids 5 years before his twin. He started looking so much older people just assumed he was an older brother. Guys at the gym would come up to him thinking he was the other brother and tell Hook he looked like shit. Other way around too. Guys would come up to his brother and tell him he looked great thinking it was my friend. The difference was crazy. Why he gets so worse? The kids? Stress and lack of sleep does things. I'm not a twin, but I'm dating one. I came up behind my girlfriend's sister and smacked her ass. They share clothes sometimes and look exactly alike, especially from behind. It was so awkward that I have to say my girlfriend's name to confirm it's really her. That's just unfair. Maybe they'll share boyfriends down the road. My grandparents were getting us ready for kindergarten. They put the wrong number tags on us, but we did not notice. I was just sitting in class and all of a sudden the teacher goes, "My brother's name, you're in the wrong class." We had different teachers. She brings me to my brother's classroom and takes him to hers. I was so scared I didn't say anything, and I felt like I did something wrong. After a few minutes I was so freaked out about being in an unfamiliar place and seeing all the strange faces I started crying. My brother's kindergarten teacher figured out what was wrong and sent us back to our real classrooms. Me and my twin are fraternal and look nothing alike. This was like the 3rd week of class. Teacher, these damn kids again. Always F***ing around even as babies. I dated a girl whose twin was a life drawing model on campus. Guys were always approaching her when they mistook her and assumed that since they had seen her nude, she was easy. That's awkward. My roommate and I were models for our figure drawing class. It made talking to the girls in the class difficult. It was hard to tell if they were hitting on us or not, so after the first few classes we basically made an agreement to not try to make anything happen ever with any of the girls. It was interesting to see though how each individual perceived me. It was also rather funny that I was supposed to undress behind a curtain only to walk out naked. This was my dad's story, but he and my uncle look exactly alike, to the point where their wives of 2+ DECADES have confused them. When they were in college my dad was the lead in a show and my uncle came to see it opening night. My uncle saw his chance and, while my dad was in the bathroom, burst through the curtains and said, "That's it. I've heard it. I can't work with these people anymore," and stormed off. The director was basically shitting himself. BC nobody knew that my dad had a twin until my dad came back and, once he saw everyone's faces, basically said, "Yeah, my twin is coming tonight. He messed with y'all, right?" This might be my favorite longtime musician / actor, and this prank would be priceless to pull on cast members. Bravo to them. Not about me, but about my father, who has an identical twin. I wasn't told the specifics of this story, but basically my uncle had quite a bad gambling problem which led to him borrowing money off some dodgy people. Unsurprisingly, my uncle lost all the money gambling and so was unable to pay back the people he had borrowed it from. IDK who these people were, but I'm guessing that they are some sort of gang or some shit, because they then started searching for my uncle to basically beat the shot out of him for not paying them back, but instead found my dad. Apparently my dad was only moments away from having his knees busted before he convinced them he wasn't my uncle by showing them dope pictures of them together. Luckily my dad wasn't harmed and the whole experience caused my uncle to get help for his addiction. Fuck, if I were a mob enforcer, I would totally call bullshit. It wasn't me. It was my identical twin brother. That's some rolling a natural 20 sort of charisma to convince them. In my school, we do punches, like a little hole punches in a card, and if you get 10 punches, you get a reward. So my math teacher gives me a punch if she calls me by my twin's name. So she called me by my twin's name, then she is like, oh, got to give you a punch, then said, is this your desk, twin's name? I corrected her again, and ended up getting a lunch party. She didn't even have my twin. It has happened at least 6 times this year. I'm the brother of older, identical twins, and during the eldest's wedding, J, his twin, P, and myself were his groomsmen. As part of this, we were greeting guests as they arrived, shaking their hands, and saying welcome, etc. It didn't take long for guests to start congratulating P on his wedding, causing him to laugh and correct them. At first, a lot of Jay's wife's family were from overseas, so they certainly hadn't met P before and may not have even known that Jay had a twin. So once they started arriving, it became a constant stream of people congratulating P on his wedding. Eventually he stopped correcting them and just slightly awkwardly saying thanks.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.